Hey, how's it going, everyone? It's Johnny5, and back with my second video on the Toyota Hilux 1972 truck that I've been putting together and doing a lot of cool stuff to, and also putting a Tesla motor into. So on this video, it's going to be kind of a little bit short, but I wanted to go over a couple things on how I actually got this motor to run. I'm going to start off with saying that I haven't mentioned this yet, but I actually work over at EV West. I am an engineer, I'm a builder, a welder, fabricator. I design electronics, circuit boards, and all sorts of stuff over there. And built a couple chassis, including the Electroliner, which got a Bonneville world record, speed record a couple years back, so that's pretty cool. So anyway, that being said, I have a Tesla small drive unit. That's what's in the Hilux right now. And I went with this because it's a little bit smaller of a package. Obviously, fits a little bit easier in that truck since it's such a small thing. And it's not, I didn't go with the Model 3 because basically the Model 3 motor was a little bit tougher to get running and all that stuff. So I just went with this. It's reliable. They work 250 kilowatt, 335 horsepower, and they work great. So how do you get one of these to run? Well, there's a couple ways. And I went with option A, which I actually don't recommend, but I'm going to tell you about it anyway. Right here is a stock Tesla logic board. And basically what the logic board is it's inside the inverter over here, which is on that side. You take this whole piece off here and you get into the inverter. And basically inside of there is your logic board, and then the other board that has the FETs and everything to drive the motor. So what I did was I took the inverter off and I pulled the logic board out of it. This is the stock Tesla unit. And I replaced it with an open inverter logic board. And the actual one that I have is from Zero EV, and is basically an open inverter board. And they do their own software and everything for it. But I think that's discontinued now. So this is one of the reasons why I suggest just don't do it. But to each his own. So if you go with the open inverter board, that's a different story, and that works. But basically, I'm saying steer clear from this direction because it's pretty tough to deal with. You have to pull the inverter apart. You have to pull the logic board out. In some cases, you're soldering some of these bits on some of these headers like this one and some other ones. Also, I've already bent these, but basically there's two thermistors here on the board that you have to yank out of, basically do a bunch of software stuff to get it to run. So, not impossible, but it's definitely not for someone who doesn't understand this too well. The other option is to run a T2C. And what a T2C is basically a spoofer, and it basically tells this motor that everything's fine, it's in a Tesla, hasn't been pulled out, it hasn't been put in some cool hot rod or anything, and it runs just like it would stock. And basically you don't pull it apart, you don't pull this logic board out of it, you keep the stock logic board, and it's pretty much that easy, sort of. You still have to wire everything up, and you still have to deal with getting the T2C to talk to this and to be registered to your motor, basically. But after that, you're good to go, and that's not too difficult to do. And that's something that we do over at the shop at EV West as well. That being said, that's what I did. I went with the Zero board, basically because we had one sitting around, and I was like, well, heck, I'll just stick it in the motor and run it. But overall, it should work fine. It should work good. It should be able to peel out and do all kinds of fun things with that truck. So So that's basically it for this video. Sorry that it's a little bit short, but there's some more cool stuff coming up as far as this build goes pretty soon, because I'm moving along on it pretty good. So till then, thanks for watching. All right, see ya.